and then I could put my team. But I would say it's more of a hard-working team rather than just natural skill and flair. I know some players there individually has that talent, but trust me, this is not the Brazil that I'm used to.
As you mentioned, Ancelotti, I think football fans out there can all agree. This looks like a Real Madrid 23-24 team that he normally, you know, go out there, do your best, you rely on your best player, winning that case today. Is it an Ancelotti team or is it a Brazilian? What's the vibe you got today from them?
I think that's what you get when you have a manager that is not local. You get a mixture of the stars. So he has this type of personnel and this type of playing style, and I think we're getting the Ancelotti vibes, especially because of the fact that he's bench
yeah, he's making his point and he's sticking with it.
Fan Central Extra Time brought to you by Pepsi.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard, and the music keeps on playing, and the people that I say we are mash up the night. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Candy Pang at
What a guan?
What's a guan?
That's a guan, pa.
What a Guan.
What a want?
What a Guan! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
That's a Guan, what a Guan!
Fan Central Extra Time is brought to you by the Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi. We also want to thank Courts, bringing value home, Mothers, love in every bite, and Just Bet Goal Rush. Watch all the games on the biggest screens in the
Static.
Let me just begin.
Yeah, of course, I saw that song having Neymar. But you know what? No Neymar, no problem. Because Brazil, they got it done in that match you would have just tuned into. And you know what you're tuned into right now? The full-time whistle has gone, and guess what? It's time for extra time. Not just any extra time. It's time for Fan Central Extra Time. And of course, we're powered by our good friends over there at Pepsi. And as per usual, we have to make mention of our official food sponsor because, of course, you're going to wash down the food with a Pepsi. But some delicious mothers. So big up to our food sponsors, mothers, as well as newly introduced Just Bet Goal Rush. Watch all the games on the biggest outdoor screen in the Caribbean. Follow at JustBetJA for details on that. JustBetJA. I'm Kimani O'Sullivan. Thank you for joining us on Fan Central Extra Time. And with me on set is a man obsessed with player profiles, inverted fullbacks, and half spaces. Sounds like a football nerd, right? Yeah. Coach Davian Ferguson makes his debut on Fan Central Extra Time. Coach Ferguson is a football coach, educator, and technical leader who is currently serving as assistant coach at JPL side Mount Pleasant. And he has assumed the role of TD at Jamaica College from 2019 to 2026. And he has also worked with the JFF youth setups, including under 15, under 17, and under 20 programs. So that's Coach Davian Ferguson. Of course, as per usual, we can't have Fan Central Extra Time without our fan corner extraordinaire, Rashida Murphy. And point to note, she's also our resident delusional Germany fan that can't properly pronounce Guten Tag. Rashida, it's Guten Tag. I believe it is in German. Don't mind me, I'm not a Germany fan, so if I get it incorrectly, that is completely fine. We'll be joined by former reggae boy Tyrone Marshall later in the show, and I don't anticipate Tyrone wearing a pink shirt for another night straight. You'll get that reference when he joins the show later. And yeah, of course, Tyrone was part of the Jamaica Reggae Boys between the years 2000 and 2010. All right, so a lot to get through today, but before we get into our discussions, we have to remind you, my good friend Jordan Fort came bearing gifts yesterday, and as a good colleague, I have done the same because we have another football jersey to give away, and this is courtesy of our good friends at Pepsi. And guess what? Hope you can zoom in on that signature, because that signature is from Reggae Boys captain Andre Blake. Yes, Blakey, take up a marker and sign this for one of you at home. So what you're going to do, you're going to call in and answer our fan question tonight. But not only am I giving away this jersey, I did Jordan Fort one better, because we also have a basket courtesy of our sponsors to give away. So you're not just getting a jersey, a basket is available for you to win as well. Only on Fan Central Extra Time, ladies and gentlemen, and we have so much in store for you. So let's just get into a little bit of results. But before that, of course, Kimani, you have to let the people know, how do they get a chance to win these goodies? You can tune in and take up your phones, call us, and keep sharing your thoughts at this number, 876-833-0897 on WhatsApp. You can also hit us up on social media at CVM TV on all our social media platforms. So, get into Extra Time. Get into Fan Central Extra Time. All right, let's go through the results now. We had a packed day in the World Cup. And yeah, let's get those results on the screen for you. Of course, in that first game, we have the USA, the host nation. Wow, they are on a roll. I wonder if Sir Donald Trump is having his eye on that World Cup trophy. He might be able to lift it if the USA wins. Here are the results here for match day 9. USA 2-0 over Australia. Scotland falling to Morocco. Siberia, what a goal and what a start to that match. You just saw Brazil dispatch of Haiti 3-0. Matheus Cunha getting that brace of goals. And Turkey will take on Paraguay later on. All right, so let's just start with our first game by our hosts of the World Cup, the United States of America, the Star-Spangled Banner, Coach Ferguson. You know, they've been calling Mauricio Pochettino Maurice Peterson or something like that. They're saying that that's the translation for his name in American. But he has the USA really balling out, so to speak, Coach.
Yeah, first and foremost, good night, Kimani, good night to your viewers. I think what we have to look at is what he did at Spurs. I think he had a good run at Spurs. He has been in the US for a while now, and I think we're seeing the results of his coaching. Today we saw a different side to US from the first game. But for me, I think they have started really well, and all credit must be given to him.
Yeah, Coach, of course, Pochettino has been lauded by some, and he's been ridiculed by some. And we can see the stats here telling the story of what his team did today, that 63% possession. Not something you usually associate with a United States team, and as you can see they're having the majority of the possession, dominating in terms of shots, just by 3 though. And of course we have so much to go through when it comes to the intricacies. We're going to get into that a little later. I just want to get Tyrone Marshall's initial thoughts on the USA-Australia game. Tyrone, the US of A.
Good evening.
Good evening. The US of A, they're really flying the flag high, aren't they?
Yes, hats off to the coach, Pochettino.
taking the team through 2 games and having 2 positive results. It's a great thing for the U.S. to have that, especially on home soil, going through, after 2 games. So really good performance today by the U.S. team, not to take anything away from them. I didn't think the Australians were very good today, but kudos to the U.S. for putting away the chances when they had, and they kept a clean sheet. So positive on the U.S. side.
Yeah, we have to make mention of the fact, Coach Ferguson, that Christian Pulisic, Captain America, wasn't available due to injury. And they still looked a good unit, having their most threatening, arguably their most threatening player out. They could still be as threatening as the team is set up to be.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's the motion you have them in right now. If you look also, Pepe is the one who came in.
Yeah.
And I think Pepe suited what they wanted to do. They were up against a back 5. And I think he played a second striker role right beside Balogun. And that gave Robinson the left side to really play, which really pushed back this Australia team. But I think for me, as I said, Pulisic or no Pulisic, he's a great player. But the team and the system that Pochettino have them playing in now is really a good one.
Yeah, we're going to get into the system soon. We're going to get into the next game now. Of course, Scotland falling to Morocco. It could have been uglier for Scotland, I believe, because Morocco has really shown themselves to be a powerhouse coming into this competition. That draw against Brazil was probably somewhat of an outlier for them, maybe. Coach Ferguson, I just want to get your initial thoughts. They had a quick start through Siberia. The man who will be playing in Bayern Munich's team next season. Wow, so much firepower for company. But what can we say about Morocco? They are a well-oiled machine, aren't they?
Definitely. In youth football, they have done well. They have won the U20, and they are semi-finalists in the last World Cup. So they have quality, they have pedigree. I see them reaching very far in this competition.
Yeah, and Tyrone, I was speaking to our producer about the game before, and what stood out to us in particular was the fact that Morocco seems so rapid in all facets of the game, in pressing, in attacking, the directness that they have, just the pace and how they can overwhelm teams. Is that how you saw it today?
That's ironic that you mentioned that, because we were watching the game and I was saying to my brother, man, the Moroccan team, they look like they have a different gear that they turn it up, So watching the US game, for example, in Australia, and then compare the Morocco-Scotland game, it's 2 different pace. Morocco could turn it up, and for me, man, that's a sign of a very good team. So, yeah, really good game to watch. I thought it was a really open game. I thought the referee did a really good job of controlling the game, let it play, let the flow. So it was a really entertaining game to watch, in my opinion. I thought that was really exciting football.
Yeah, and Coach Ferguson, Scott McTominay is obviously the talisman for Scotland. He wasn't as effective as he was in the first game. How much of that is due to maybe the Moroccan setup and the pressing and the domination of the ball, or was it maybe some flaws with the Scotland setup? Some persons will say that he looked like the McTominay of Manchester United and not the Napoli MVP last season that we saw.
I think in the second half we saw a difference, Scott. I think in the first half the coach, he went to a back 5, which really put them under a lot of pressure. First game they played 4, he brought in Tierney this game, and I think it forced the Morocco team to really monopolize more of the football. Scotland had less of the football, hence a player like Scott didn't get to really show his worth. I think in the second half when the changes happened, I think he came in his own. Questionable call, should have gotten a penalty, I think, in the last part of the game. Could have been a 1-1 game for him.
All right, well, tough luck for Scotland, but they're on 3 points, so it's not all lost. Let's get on to our CONCACAF neighbors who took on the Samba men from Brazil, Carlo Ancelotti's men. Of course, Carlo Ancelotti making that big call to drop Igor Thiago for this game and start the surfing Brazilian Matheus Cunha, who got a brace in that game. Coach Ferguson, I'm going to start with you for the Brazil game. They drew in the first one against Morocco. Tougher opposition, of course, but Haiti was just no match for them. And was that due to mainly Carlo Ancelotti's selections, or was that just pure quality?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. Carlo is a very good coach. I expect him to get better, and I expect Brazil to get better as the tournament goes on. I think in this game, though, he played, as you said, Cunha, as opposed to Igor. Cunha is a different type of striker. He's one who will always want to come to the ball. And then when you have players like Vini and Rafinha, who likes to run in behind, I think that creates a little bit of problem again. And I think, again, as I said, I don't know what's the problem with what I've seen today in most teams. Australia, Scotland, and now Haiti moving to a back five, trying to shore up the defense, but I think they got it wrong in that instance.
All right, Tyrone, quickly, in less than a minute, your take on the Brazil game?
Yeah, disappointed with Brazil performance. I haven't been too overwhelmed with their performance. However, they got the result, and that's what's the most important thing. And they're in a good, I think, light to move on to the next stage. So hopefully they'll keep getting better, keep improving, like Coach mentioned. But not really impressed with their performance so far.
All right, Tyrone Marshall is a hard man to please. Wow, I guess he's thinking of the standard that Brazil was at.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
And that's totally understandable, Tyrone. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, it's time for the playbook, but with a twist. And you're gonna stick around. You're gonna want to stick around to find out what we have cooking here on Fan Central Extra Time. We'll be right back.
CVM TV for everybody. When the Lala gonna have to full up, match link up, Fan Central full up.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
It's game on at Quartz. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Quartz from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Quartz, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people that I say we are march up the night. Oh, what a feeling, don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights on.
Tune in to Lead Story, weekdays at 6 p.m. Hosted by Jodianne Quarry.
Previously on Small Biz.
We string rackets, we string tennis rackets and badminton rackets. My daughters are very busy. I always try to include them in everything. They're the face of the business.
Tonight on Small Biz, Big Dreams, we meet the next generation behind the business. Twin entrepreneurs turning faith and creativity into a brand. This is Small Biz, Big Dreams. Tia and Tamara are the founders of DNA by the Twins, a business rooted in sustainability, faith, and self-expression. They say the idea grew from their father's recycling efforts, turning discarded tennis and badminton strings into meaningful jewelry.
DNA by the Twins was born out of sustainability and a desire to encourage and inspire others. So, as my father had mentioned before, he has a professional racket restringing business where he restrings G-strings, tennis and badminton rackets. So over the years, he has been storing up strings, waste strings, basically that are supposed to be thrown in the trash. So one day he presented us with the idea, hey girls, why don't you use these strings to create something meaningful? I mean, the strings have a kaleidoscope of colors, and he presented us with the idea, these can be interwoven in the form of a DNA spiral.
Their signature pieces, DNA-inspired earrings and bracelets, carry a message of purpose and individuality. They say each product is designed to remind people that they are unique and created with intention.
So anything we do, we really want to include the Lord. So that it was because of our passion, you know. That's why we actually started this business, right? So we have a passion for sharing the gospel with others through meaningful products.
We have here lovely medals for the kids. So if a child wins a tournament, or even if they came 3rd or 4th place, they could still wear a lovely medal by DNA by the Twins.
Since launching, the Twins have expanded their brand beyond jewelry. They now offer a range of Christian-based products, including t-shirts, journals, children books, and more, all aimed at sharing positive messages through everyday items.
We have here lovely gift boxes, and this is our premium blessing bundle. It includes a lovely Christian t-shirt, a lovely Christian journal, and it comes with a cute little pen. We also included one of our DNA Sparrow BA bracelets, as well as a Christian mug that actually matches the shirt and the journal. These are fantastic books for kids. They have a lot of biblical values and good morals in them, so I encourage you to get some for your little ones. We also have badminton t-shirts as well, and this is for our badminton and also tennis market, because we go to a lot of badminton and tennis tournaments to sell our products.
So you can find our jewelry at the 3 Things Jamaica stores, Devon House, Norman Manley International Airport, as well as South Camp Road. You can also find us online, our website at www.dnabythetwins.com.
Next week, stay tuned for whichever business we make bloom. Until then, for Small Biz, Big Dreams, I'm Kevin Black.
When the Lala go net fi full up, match link up, fan central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real bad team that a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bad a switchy.
Based off of the World Cup so far, tell me which baller can board the ark.
Let me hear the list.
Erling Haaland.
Yes.
Harry Kane. Mbappe.
Yes, and add Olise as well.
Alright. Lamine Yamal. Basi, nobody from the Spain team can go on the ark?
Not sure as yet.
Alright, you know all of this up. Messi.
Is that even a question? Make sure he gets one of the VIP rooms on the ark.
Not less than a VIP room, my God. Cristiano. How Ronaldo do Pandalicia? Ronaldo. Come off a list, man.
You're lucky, because I was just about to send some lightning.
No, man, no need for that, my God.
Try make sure.
All right, bossy. Oh, what about the whole Brazil team?
Hey, you know what? Lionel Messi is regarded as the GOAT, and with the ark reference, of course, at the Noah and the animals boarding. Cristiano Ronaldo deserves to be on the ark as well. I'm sure Coach Ferguson agrees with me in this case, but it looks like baby GOAT, Lamine, who was it? Mbappe, Haaland, wow. But hey, all fun and games till Ronaldo messes around and scores a hat-trick next game. Anyway, it's time for the playbook. And we are here by the screen with Coach Ferguson to break down our first game. We're going to talk about that first encounter between USA against Australia. And of course, the USA won 2-0. So Coach, what are we looking at here? Of course, Pochettino's side taking on the Australians. What worked so well for America for them to be playing so well in this tournament?
As I said earlier, with Pulisic being out and he brought in Pepe, Pepe is naturally a number 9. So I think what happened for Australia is that they had to deal with, in this area, 2 number 9s. They're playing a back 5, so these 3 centre backs now have attention of these 2 players in the centre of the park. Then he asks Robinson to maintain width. So he was the one who is holding the width on the left side. And then the key to that now is in the half spaces, he had Tillman and he had McKennie. And holding the width on the right side, he has Des. So that's basically 6 players that he plays within the block. And then in the build-up phase, he had Adams, Ream, Richards, and Freeman now, who played a little bit lower. So he allowed Des to really maintain this width and allow McKennie, Tillman to really hit those spaces in terms of these half-space runs. In the first half, how the goal was scored, Balogun again in this side, again he made that run in here, ball here, players start to crash the box from deep, crossing the danger area, and it was an own goal.
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to talk about the build-up phase. Of course, Freeman is somewhat of a hybrid right-back and centre-back player. And you mentioned him playing lower, and Adams being that central pivot. How important is the build-up to how USA wants to play, seeing that Robinson is so high and Dest, who has been magnificent on the pitch, and they're getting that freedom in terms of just being high flyers?
Very, very, very critical to what they want to do, especially against an Australia team who was not playing an aggressive press. They were more in between a mid to a low block. So again, the circulation here, instead of having just 2 players here, which would now negate the possibility of moving the ball faster and also preparing that rest defense. So whenever they lose the ball, it's very, very important. So Adams, very, very tidy player, very, very smart in terms of his positioning and his reading of the game. Ream, not so much of a strong runner in terms of big spaces, but he uses the ball well and organized well. And as you mentioned, quite rightly, Freeman being that hybrid type player who sometimes provide the width and sometimes hang back a little bit to kind of provide that security for McKennie, who will always make this run in that house.
Yeah, McKennie was brilliant today, Coach. I just want to get Tyrone Marshall's opinion on this one. Tyrone, we're not used to seeing the USA with tactical setups like this. They're usually somewhat of a run and gun team. I just want to get your take on the setup and how well it worked for the United States.
Yeah, I think Coach mentioned it well. In the first game, I think the same scenario came out where they're pushing these 6 guys higher up the pitch, and the Paraguay team couldn't deal with those deep runs from the half space. And the same thing today. I think the Australians struggle a bit in terms of having these numbers higher up the pitch. And therefore, you see those isolation, especially with Balogun on the first goal. Speedy forward, their defense a little bit slower, finding that space in behind the half space. And that's what led to the first goal, the own goal. And again, he mentioned Freeman, played against Freeman when I was in Cincinnati. Really, really top young player. And now he's made it straight in Spain. And now he's back in the national team and he's doing a fantastic job. He has good pace to go up, and also have the capacity to play in that center back, outside back role. So, really good tactical adjustment and setup from Pochettino. And it's suiting what the US has in terms of personnel. And I think that's why everything's working so well, and when Pulisic gets back, it's going to even be running on a faster machine, right? So really good tactical adjustment and setup from Pochettino.
Yeah, we're gonna start talking about the second game, Tyrone. But wow, Pochettino has Serginho Dest looking like a renewed man, I must say. It's been a long time since he's been so threatening. So Pochettino is working some magic over there in the US of A. Now it's time for us to break down the Moroccan team, the AFCON champs. I say that in jest, of course, because Senegal and Morocco have a lot to talk about, I still believe. But Coach Ferguson is still at the playbook, still in the playbook. So we're just going to get into our analysis now. We are just about ready to break down these two teams. Coach Ferguson, take it away. It seems Morocco is in a 4-2-3-1, and they basically went against the back five of Scotland. So break it down for us.
Yeah, so I think, as Tyrone mentioned, I think Morocco is a very well coached team. I think though, when you find a team starting to adjust too much for the opponent, it means that they respect the opponent and in some instance fear the opponent. I think this is where the change that happened in today's game really affected the game. Because Tierney was brought in specifically to match up against Hakimi. Now Hakimi is a player, I call him the positionless fullback. Because if you look sometime in the game, he's here, he's all over the park. And when you start to follow these players all over the park, it really moves your structure out of place. And I think that's what happened today in terms of all of that. Even with the goal, again, what we saw from Scotland, which is, for me, a schoolboy error, if you want to call it that. High line, zero pressure on the football, and then you have players like Sabiri making that run in behind, receive in behind, and there was a beautiful finish by him. So again, if there's no pressure on the ball, normally what you ask your players to do, drop the line a little bit deeper and try to play for that dead ball. But I think Scotland didn't do it. In the 71st second of the game, they conceded a goal.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned schoolboy stuff, Coach, because represented on the screen here, Scotland, they're in dark blue. I don't know if you feel some sort of way about that, but I'm just going to ask Tyrone Marshall about Siberia and that rapid start to the game. Saibari, pardon my English, and that rocket goal he scored, being the fastest goal in Moroccan history, as well as the fastest goal at this World Cup.
Behind the back line, like Coach mentioned, they are higher up the pitch, and they didn't recognize that they need to be obviously on the half turn and ready to drop. The Moroccans exploited that moment, and again, Siberia, really good finish, and like I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic alluded to this, where you get in that position, you just want to aim for the keeper's head, and I think that's what he did, and he had a really good finish over the keeper's right shoulder. Excellent finish.
Yeah, and quickly before we get ready to go to Rashida, the pressing of Morocco is something that we mentioned earlier. From your perspective as a defender, how hard is that to deal with, the unsettling of that? In less than a minute, Tyrone, we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, it's really tough to deal with a team that's high pressing you all the time, especially if you don't know where the outlets are. If a team is pressing you like that, you have to know where the outlets are all the time, which is the space is going to be in behind. So we have to have counter movement where if they're coming, it's either the strikers have to look to drop and somebody's running behind. And that's where the spaces are going to be. And if you're not able to play out, it's going to be just kick it in there and then move your lines up. But it's a really difficult setup as a defender, when you're dealing with a high pressing team like a Morocco.
We're going to set up our rest defense here on Fan Central Extra Time. We're going to a break. Stick with us. We have more coming after the break. We'll be right back.
Match link up, Fan Central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School silly billy. Now bother tell me about your team and them not make the semi. Game sweet, girl I call it sugar.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people that I say we are mash up the night. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit it dark. Shine your lights
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation. Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than
Silly Billy, nobody tell me about your team and them to make the semi. Game sweet, girl, I call it Sugar Daddy. CVM TV, for everybody.
See, you might be watching that video and thinking that just came out of thin air. You know, they say theater and social media reflects what's happening in real life oftentimes. Lionel Messi got away with a red card tackle, but we're not going to dive into that again. No more ranting. I'm not pro Ronaldo. My producer is telling me I'm pro Ronaldo. That's not the case. Welcome back to Fan Central Extra Time. We are still here on set. And of course, we have so much more to go through with you. Coach Davian Ferguson is still with me to my right, and Tyrone Marshall, our former reggae boy, current coach over there in the States, is still on Zoom with us. But most importantly, Rashida Murphy. I always mention, you know Murphy, you've heard of Murphy's Law. Well, we're going to have Rashida Murphy go through the groups. Rashida, give us the state of play in the groups thus far. Talk to us.
Yes, Kimani. So I think it's confirmed now with that loss that Haiti just suffered that they're the first team to be eliminated from the World Cup. And so Group C sees Brazil being the top of the group, and they can look at it from a goal difference standpoint going in number 1. Morocco also second in the group. I think these two teams are looking at, more comfortable and to edge the goal difference by the end of the match day. Scotland, they're in a little bit of a rut here as it regards because their only win was against Haiti, and they still have, Brazil to play. And so this is what Group C looks like. As I mentioned, Haiti is eliminated. We see you, our Caribbean brothers, but better luck next time. So we'll move on to Group D to see what's happening on that group. All right, so it's the group of, hanging in there. So we have the United States of America at the top of the group, also advanced to the round of 32. They have had an incredible start so far in this World Cup. Australia, what a performance today from them. They can also secure something out of this group going forward. Turkey, Paraguay just scored, so they also are looking at themselves, and they've also lost their first game as well, so it's a bit up in the air for them. Not sure what happens to Paraguay for the rest of, but they are also last in Group D. And I'm going to make my way, Kimani, over to my top picks.
Oh, it's time.
Yes,
it's
please
time.
Do not disagree with me. I know it all.
Yeah,
so over
Murphy's
here,
Law, Murphy's List. Let's get it.
So my top 3 picks for the day in terms of best performances, Kimani, believe it or not, I know what I'm talking about.
Of course you do.
Number 3, I have Mateus Cunha. He scored his first World Cup goal today. I think that means something coming in for him. Also off of a very good season with Manchester United. So I know lots of Brazilian fans would like for him to be at number 1, but he's at number 3. Great performance. I think he does a better job at striker position than Igor Thiago as we can see. And I think he solidified his state in the Brazilian team. Number 2, I'm going to go with Alex Freeman of the United States of America. He also had a very incredible performance throughout today, kept a clean sheet, important, and he's the only USA player that scored a goal today. So that's good from him. And I think there's no disagreement with his talent and what he brings to the United States. Are you ready for number 1, guys? So on number 1 list, it's Ismail Saibari from Morocco. I think he was just outstanding. He is one of, just their shining stars to look forward to in this Moroccan team with a lot of the big names. He's also going to a very big club, so he has big shoes to fill and to put his name on the map for fans out there watching. So Bayern Munich fans, you guys are getting a star here. Kimani, let me hear what you're saying.
You see, Rashida, I don't like how you've already set the precedence that I'm going to disagree. I don't like that. Your picks are really good. Yeah. Your picks are really good. Here's the thing, though. Shout out to young Freeman of the USA, Coach Ferguson, Rashida, Tyrone. Shout out to young Freeman. Chris Richards has to be on the list, right? And I know Freeman got his goal today, youngster coming through the ranks. Chris Richards has been, for me, bar for bar, the best centre-back in the competition thus far. He's been consistent, he's been firm at the back, and the USA hardly give away goals. So, that being said, Freeman, you got to go, bro. You got to go. Rashida, I'm taking Freeman out. I'm putting Chris Richards in. Coach Ferguson, agree with me.
I tend to want to agree with Rashida.
Of course you do.
Her picks are good, but for me, as I said, one of the standout players for me today for the US team was McKennie. When you have Pulisic out, the worry was who was going to make those depth runs. And I think he came in, he adapted well, and I think he did exceptionally well. But as I said, Freeman again is one of those players who was really, really good also in the game.
Coach, you see, the list is about not staying on the fence. It's either or either, right, Coach? So you're going to have to take somebody out and put McKennie in. Who are you taking out?
I would take out Freeman and put McKennie in.
Ashida, I told you, that Freeman pick. Tyrone, who are you taking out? Or is the list perfect as is?
Rashida, I would agree with you. I like your list. And the reason why I've coached against Freeman, and I know he's an up-and-coming young talent, and not a lot of people heard about him until this past year, right? But, I coached against him in MLS Next Pro, and the guy was a beast there. So I'm really excited for him and his progress and, his progression, what he's done. So love that you put him on the list, and he scored, like you said, as well. And Cunha, he scored tonight, 2 goals. Again, good performance from him. Again, I'm not really loving the Brazilian overall performance, the collective. However, a really good performance by him. And then, Sabari, he scored a brilliant goal. 60 seconds in, to kind of lead the way for Morocco. So excellent. Great list.
All right, Tyrone, hear me out, gentlemen and lady. Hear me out. Morocco, Siberia. Great performance. Good performance. Neil Enyanawi. Coach Ferguson, I know you're a stickler for midfielders who are busy, box to box, all action. Am I reaching for saying I'd put El Yanawi at number 1 for Siberia? Because he did score a good goal, but Tyrone, it sounds like you want to chime in.
You're reaching. Yeah, you're reaching.
Okay.
You're reaching.
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna fall off of the chair.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you think so too, Coach?
Yeah, he was good. But as I said, Siberia is really good. He lead the line well. He created space for others to run into also, which is good. And he's on the cusp of a very, very big move. So for me, as I said, he's the number 1.
And Kimani, it's also World Cup history, fastest goal. Come on. Stop trying to disagree with me. I know it all.
Yeah, you can't go against history,
Yeah.
Can't go against history. You know what, Rashida? You know ball. I hope Jordan Ford can follow suit when he's on set, because we have a budding rivalry, right, Tyrone? You know about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and before we go though, we have our social media question for you to possibly win this Pepsi jersey, signed, as you can see the name Blake, signed by Andre Blake, the goalkeeper for the Reggae Boys, the captain. Here's the question. Who is the highest scoring country in World Cup history? Which team is the highest scoring nation in World Cup history? Very straightforward. Run to Google now, and when you get your chance, you can WhatsApp us. You can call us on this number, 876-833-0897. You can call in, and when we come back, we're going to see who wants this jersey so bad and who knows ball. Stick with us. Fan Central Extra Time. We'll be right back.
Fan Central full up. Me team win. Every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are mash up the dance. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got the spark, don't fit the dark. Shine your lights
When the Lala go net fi full up, match link up, Fan Central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up.
Than 1 week of the World Cup, and the fan scene in America is insane. So I'm counting down the 3 countries that I think brought it the most. The first one, the Netherlands. Is there anyone actually left in the Netherlands, or are they all just in America right now? Up next, we got the Norwegians with their Viking Row chant. It literally draws the attention of the entire stadium. There's nothing like it. And last, we got Brazilian fans. No one is bringing it like this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, the fans are out in their numbers over there in the World Cup. And, you know, it begs the question, and I'm going to ask everybody here. And welcome back to Fan Central Extra Time. We see the fans over there, the Norwegian fans, the Dutch fans, and the Brazilians. I wonder, Coach, what the atmosphere would be like if Jamaica were to be at the showpiece event. I just feel like, you know, a little chant, soup, pressure. Who under pressure? Ronaldo. What do you think?
It's sad that we're not there, for sure, because it's so close, and we thought we would have been there based on what we saw coming. But I know we would have bring the energy. Jamaica bring the energy wherever we go, and this being so very close to us in terms of the region, we definitely would have had a lot of people there supporting Jamaica.
Yeah, Tyrone kept chance of Jamaica, a big side. Oh, song.
Yeah, 100%, man. Very disappointed, like Coach alluded to. You know, I mean, I know Jamaica would have been supported really, really well here. We're so close, but yeah, we're so far.
Yeah, wow. Poetry. No, Tyrone, you do poetry too? That sounded poetic, man. Wow, man of many talents, man. I tell you, Tyrone Marshall. Speaking of many talents, I have a lot of talents that I want to share, but it's not my time because on the line we have a fan. So it's time to go to the fan corner. And we apparently, oh, pardon me, my producers are letting me know that we have someone to answer the question for this lovely Andre Blake jersey. So, caller, thanks for tuning in. Your name is Webston, I'm being told. Webston, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon.
Right. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling in. Welcome to Fan Central Extra Time, sir. So, do you have the answer to our fan question? Do you want me to repeat it or you know the answer straight off the bat? Talk to me.
I think you can repeat it, please.
All right. So, Mr. Webston, which team has scored the most goals in World Cup history? You're on the clock.
I would say Brazil. The fact that Brazil has been to all that World Cup staging, so I would say Brazil.
Brazil is the final answer, sir, because...
Yeah, Brazil is my final answer.
All right. So he's locking in Brazil. Let me just listen to my producers. Let me check my tablet. Brazil is correct. And Webston, good for you because Brazil actually surpassed Germany today with that 3-0 victory against Haiti. So congratulations, Webston. And I'm being told by my producers that you're a goalkeeper. Is that true?
Yes, I am a goalkeeper.
Wait.
Well,
So you're telling me you're...
many talent, not just goalkeeper, but other... But that's not what they're here for.
Okay, so you're a man of many talents like Tyrone Marshall. That's great, man. Andre Blake will be given to you now through this jersey, signed and autographed by him. So congratulations, sir. You're now, I guess you can say that you're knighted now by royalty because Andre Blake is one of the best goalkeepers in CONCACAF history. So, yeah, definitely. Congratulations. Congratulations, Webster. Thanks for calling in. And hopefully, maybe one day we can have you on the show, sir. Thanks for calling.
All right, thank you very much.
Everyone, take care. All right, so a lot of debates always happen, Coach, not only about the players and teams, but also about sporting events. So our producers have retrieved a video that speaks about the comparison between the Super Bowl and the World Cup.
Americans think the Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event on earth. And I used to think that too, until I actually looked at the numbers. Because the Super Bowl isn't the biggest event on earth, it's the biggest event in one country that convinced itself it's the whole world. 125 million viewers for the Super Bowl sounds massive until you realize the World Cup final alone pulled 1.5 billion. That's a different planet. The whole tournament, 5 billion people tuned in.
What?
That's basically humanity just deciding to watch football at the same time. One World Cup is 104 Super Bowls in a single month. The Super Bowl is a house party. The World Cup is the entire city outside. But here's what actually broke me. Okay. India versus Pakistan in cricket pulled 163 million viewers, more than the entire Super Bowl audience. Meanwhile, the NFL keeps trying to grow globally by playing games in football stadiums around the world. That tells you everything. Football already owns the map. Still not convinced? Open Instagram right now. Ronaldo, 665 million followers. Messi, 506 million. The two most followed humans on the entire platform. Both footballers. Odell Beckham, the most followed NFL player, 16 million. Ronaldo gains that in a month. Outside America, ask anyone if they'd watched the Super Bowl. 3 people raised their hand. The World Cup, people who haven't watched a single sport in their life will clear their entire Sunday for it. But to be fair, the Super Bowl still dominates one thing: advertising. One night, every major brand fighting for attention. That concentration, priceless. Meanwhile, the World Cup is doing $8.9 billion in revenue this year. The Super Bowl, $700 million, and Americans still think they're the main character. The Super Bowl is the...
For our American viewers that have tuned into this lovely show, Fan Central Extra Time, we still love you. We value your viewership, but please, rest the comparisons. Coach, am I right? Just rest the comparisons. There's no comparison between the two.
The numbers speak for itself. One is a house party and the other is a city party. So I think that speaks for itself.
Tyrone, you live in the States. Have you been to the Super Bowl by any chance? Because I know you have it like that, you know. You know you.
No, unfortunately, yeah, not in that category yet. I watch it at home.
Yeah, but your take on the comparison, though. I mean,
it's night and day. You know, you can't compare apples to oranges. World Cup is a different ball game. It's out of the stratosphere, while the Super Bowl is on Earth. Yeah, Rashida, the Super Bowl halftime is a spectacle. You have to give it to them. It's something that many people tune in to watch. Maybe they can get the best halftime show award. Am I right?
Right. I think Americans live in this bubble that they think the world revolves around them, especially like the NBA. They're world champs and they only play teams in America.
Ooh.
Correct.
Rashida came out swinging. All right. So the Canada team, they had an emphatic 6-0 thrashing of Qatar. And they had a special visitor come and check them in their locker room after the game. So let's take a look at this video.
Let me just begin by acknowledging what you're all feeling, I think, and the nation's feeling. The terrible injury of Ishmael. And it's in moments like that that you see character, the real team. He applauds the fans coming off. He shakes the hands, the Qataris coming off. Saliba comes on, steps up, scores. You hold up his jersey and you celebrate around that. You keep your cool, you show the nation. Like, you didn't just break the CONCACAF record and a bunch of records and 32 attempts on goal, 10 hit the goal, 19 corners, 1 corner, dominate, 70+%. Like, just show that level. But you showed a level of character that some people never achieve in their life. And you showed it when the entire country and a good part of the world is watching. And if they didn't watch, they will have watched by tomorrow. They'll watch the highlights by tomorrow. I'll just say I couldn't be prouder as a Canadian, and on behalf of all Canadians, just want to thank you for everything you put in.
Wow, and that special visitor is none other than Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. So the Prime Minister came in to give them some encouraging words and congratulate them for their historic victory. You know, I can't watch a video like that, gentlemen and lady, and not just wonder. I can see it. I can imagine it, Rashida. You know, Prime Minister Holness comes down after we defeat Portugal, and he says, Head of State, Damon Lowe, excellent defending. Blakey, great as always. Chippy, keep doing your thing. Bobby Reid, pass the ball. Pass the ball, Bobby Reid. Coach, that's a huge gesture, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the game. As Tyrone said earlier, the World Cup is in a different level, and football really unites everybody. Some people that you see actually supporting the World Cup, they don't even watch football apart from every 4 years. So that's the beauty of the game, and it was really good from the Prime Minister to really show his gratitude towards his players.
Yeah, Rashida, that's something you'd see Andrew Holness doing, I'm sure, if we were there at the showpiece, don't you think?
Kimani, I love whatever is going on up there in your head. Because I don't know about you, but I've never witnessed Jamaica qualify for a World Cup. Well, the women's team, but not the men's team. So keep holding on to that dream. But I think especially in that moment, it was such a deep moment for Canada, given that it's their first World Cup win. Also, Kone, he's an amazing player. So sorry that he's going to miss the rest of the tournament. And as we've all seen it, football is political and it brings the world together.
Yeah, I agree with you. So when we talk about, you know, gestures, we saw the Prime Minister of Canada there in the locker room. We have a grand gesture here that we want to do. We have another question for our viewers in Viewerland, and you would have to answer on social media for this one, I believe. My producers can correct me if I'm wrong. So the question is, you can see it here on your screen. You can actually reach out to us on WhatsApp. So what you're going to do is to tell us the names of the top 5 goal scorers at this current World Cup. Right? So you're going to send us the names of the top 5 goal scorers at the current World Cup. Should be quite easy. That simple, easy peasy. So at CVM Television on Instagram and Facebook, you can go over to social media and lock your answers in. Trust me, there's a lot of goodies in this basket, and that's what we do here. We give away happiness. We spread the love here on Fan Central Extra Time. All right, so we're winding down now in the show, and I just want to get some final thoughts on the match day from Coach Ferguson. I'm going to begin with you, Coach. Final thoughts on the match day. Of course, it's still going on because it seems Paraguay are running away. Well, not running away. They're just 1-0 up against Turkey.
Good football overall. I think we have to look at the Moroccan team very seriously. I think they have real quality from back to front. And in terms of how they play, I think they definitely will be in the reckoning. USA, I think also today for me, they show us a different side. And I think, again, I don't see them winning it, but I think based on what they're doing, I think they will also be at least in the top 8 as a contender for the quarterfinals. Brazil, most Brazil fans, I think they were waiting from the last game for Brazil to turn up. I think today, as Coach said earlier, I don't think they were at their fluid best. But I know that the coach has really good history, and this Brazil nation has good history. So I think for the Brazil fans, stick to it. It might get better for you as the tournament goes on. And my disappointment is actually looking at Turkey now. I think for me, I had them earlier in the tournament based on the quality and the calibers of players I have to really be doing well, but I think the start is not the best so far.
All right. Final thoughts from Coach Ferguson. Tyrone, quick thoughts on the match day thus far.
Yeah, really entertaining match day. I thought in particular in the Morocco-Scotland game, really entertaining, good fluid game. I thought the US game too, good start to the day, getting the result, qualifying for the next round, really happy for them. Like Coach mentioned, they showed, 2 different versions of themselves, getting a shutout, but also creating excitement, scoring 4 goals in the first game. And again, the last game here with Brazil beating Haiti, a little bit of disappointment, obviously, not seeing that samba rhythm coming out to the Brazilian team that we're used to. However, hopefully Coach Ancelotti will get that going as they move on into the later round. But really good day of football today, and I know it's still going on, so we'll keep the rhythm going.
All right, then Rashida, final thoughts.
Still not convinced by the USA or Brazil. I mean, US is going off of the, host nation hype. Brazil not cutting it. I would say get Scotland and Turkey out of here. They've been very boring as the European teams. And so far, the World Cup has been fun.
All right. So, right before we go, Romero Cummings is in added time now of extra time. He wants to answer the question that we posed to you in viewerland. Romero. Sir Cummings. Sir.
Yes?
Sir Cummings, turn down your TV there. Or walk away or exit the room that you're in. You hearing me, Sir Cummings?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Great. All right. Let's hear it. What's the answer to the fan question?
Okay, so the top 5 all-time goal scorers in the World Cup, tied up first is Miroslav Klose and Lionel Messi, followed by Ronaldo Nazario, Gerd Muller, and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow. Cummings, you know your football, but unfortunately, we want the top 5 scorers in the current World Cup, and that, I believe, if memory serves me right, I think you missed out a few, but the current top 5 scorers, is that fine? Can you do that on the fly right now? Because you sound like you know ball. Go ahead. I'm going to go against my producers and give you a hint for one of them. Meh. Is that fine? Should be.
Jonathan David.
Jonathan David.
I have Harry Kane.
Can you repeat that?
Lionel Messi, Jonathan David, Kylian Mbappe, Kai Havertz, and Harry Kane.
Well, Cummings, I have some news for you. You are correct, sir. You are correct. Congratulations. You have earned this lovely basket for yourselves. And trust me, I hope you can go back into the room with the TV now so you can see your prize, sir. This is what you're getting. Congratulations. Thanks for calling in. And you know ball. You know ball. All right. Into the upcoming schedule now as we get right out of here. Netherlands will take on Sweden in Group F. And Germany, they take on Ivory Coast. Yan Diamande is a player to watch in the tournament. He's been doing good thus far. Ecuador, they aren't on the board yet. They take on Curacao as well without a win. And we're rounded out by Group F with Tunisia taking on Blue Lock FC, or the Japan national team. Okay. Thank you to our sponsors, Pepsi, Mothers, and Just Bet. Reminder, this is brought to you by Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi. Just Bet Goal Rush, you can watch all the games on the biggest outdoor screen in the Caribbean. Follow at JustBetJA for details. And of course, our official food sponsor, Mothers. Peace out, my people. Until tomorrow, take care.
Represent for your team to the nitty-gritty. School silly billy. Nobody tell me about your team and them make this.
Elmo wants Team USA to win, okay? But Elmo loves everybody. Just to be clear. Don't make this a thing. Thank you. Elmo loves you, and Elmo loves you, and Elmo loves you, and Team USA, and everybody who's playing.
Match link up, fan central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, nobody switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School silly billy. Nobody tell me about your team and them to make the semi. Game sweet, girl I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV, for everybody.
Fan Central Extra Time was brought to you by Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi. We also want to thank Courts, bringing value home, Mothers, love in every bite, and Just Bet Goal Rush. Watch all the games on the biggest screens in the Caribbean.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer. Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love Pepsi. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
It's game on at Courts. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Courts from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Courts, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.